Saturday morning. It's about 8 o'clock. We got about a foot of water under the keel, a little over. High tide is in about an hour and a half. And I had a restless but decently comfortable night listening to bilge pumps go off intermittently. And but we're looking drier, especially forward here. That trickle has slowed to almost nothing, which is good. I think same there. I don't see any motion of that water, so that's good. I think I'm gonna. This pump is going off a lot less. Unfortunately, I can't tuck it under the sole to get into the deeper part of the bilge. So one thing I'm gonna do this morning definitely is bust out the wet dry vac and try to clean up, get a little more of that debris and some of the water out. Over here, I'm seeing movement. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna go in here and see if I can see what's going on with that. Part of the problem here is that these two bays around the mast step are not draining forward or aft much at all. So I'll use the wet vac to try to evacuate some of that water. That seems to be my major source. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. There's definitely flow coming down. It goes up. Definitely quite the flow. It kind of looks, unfortunately, like it's whatever seam is right here. Where I'd have to remove this ply, maybe cut some slats. I don't know what I can do from the inside at this point except wait. I've got all of today and all of tomorrow, Sunday, before we might have to take her out of the straps. And she is free floating right now. Probably the straps are probably touching the bottom of the keel, but it's not like her weight is on the straps. Let's see, pretty significant flow up there. Yeah, it's this flipping seam that's right here. How does this attach? A bunch of screws. I don't really need slats in here. They're nice, but it's more important that I might be able to slap some life caulk or something. If it's a very small part of the seam, I might be able to caulk it and slow things down a little bit. You can allegedly apply that stuff wet to a wet surface. Overall, though, it's looking better. I haven't really been able to time intervals, pump cycles, because I got 4 pumps going on here. I moved this one farther aft because the built-in ones are too far aft. They weren't getting enough of this flowing in there. I think maybe if I vacuum a little bit, we'll get some more flow fore and aft. But yeah, looking much better, considering that when we first dropped her in, it was starting to slop out over the soles. I'd say we're improving. But definitely got to do something about that. I think if that stops, I think we're going to start really getting pretty darn dry. All right, well, took a little doing, but I managed to get all the screws out of that plywood and remove it. I still can't really. I'm going to have to cut a slat or two. Probably have to cut this big one. I still can't tell where it begins precisely. Waterline's about, that's a lot right there. It's pretty brisk there too. I'm guessing it's a butt joint. It's probably coming out right outside of frame there. I also see a bunch of debris. God, I really don't want to cut that. I'm going to start by cutting a little of the top one, just this bay here. I want to avoid going higher, but if I have to, I will. Because if I lose battery, if the boat's free floating, offshore power, and the battery dies, This will sink the boat. Too sweet. I don't know exactly how long it would take, but it wouldn't take long, right? Well, just cut this way. What a surprise, a butt block. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, is it coming from above that? We don't know. Figures this is the quote-unquote good side. I did almost nothing on this side because it didn't seem to need it. Got a lot of debris lodged above that block. Gosh, this is really cool. I don't want to cut it. My plywood line goes to here. Grr. And maybe I can cut it. Well, since I have a block here, when it's time to put it back, I could feasibly just tack it into the block to hold it. So I'll try to make some straight, neat cuts here. And stuff. Yeah, I really would like to get all that crap out of there. Perhaps tightening, once I expose all of it, perhaps tightening these a little bit will help. But if one of them breaks off when I'm trying to tighten it, Of course, these are too big to get out here. Well, I'm gonna have to cut more. There's water. It may not be this butt joint. It may be coming from above, but I gotta get more debris out of here first. Come on, don't make me cut that. I think it might be this seam right here. I see a seam right here that's very suspect. And no way to show it on the camera. I think I may have found our culprit, and that's good, because it might be very clever to try to tighten these, but I'm almost certain they will just break, and that would be bad. Yeah, I gotta cut one more tier, get all this gunk out of here, and I think I have a plan already. Kind of looks like somebody tried to do something here. Where's my little bucket? It's kind of hard to tell now. No, I don't. Might be that seam. I gotta dry this out somehow. Yeah, let me get the shot back on there. It's definitely. Ow, that was a fastener. A freaking nail or something poking through. Interesting. I think it's all contained to this side. It doesn't seem to be. Well, there's a little trickle on the forward side of that frame. If I try to just dam this. Let me clean it first. I just back this water and debris out. It's really not. Yeah, it's accumulating again very slowly. It's actually coming from over there. I wonder if it has something to do with there's a fastener. It wasn't me. There's like a nail driven through here. Whoop, just broke the end of it off. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cut into this bay a little bit to see what's up. Stopping this water. Deuce is that? It's almost like metal, but I think it's epoxy. Something. Yeah, I don't think it was a fastener. It's just something really hard. We're not really sprung away from the frame here, but there's, for some reason, there's all this stuff in there. But I don't think that's the source. I think it's forward. which seems odd. But yeah, let's cut away another slat. Cut a little bit more. This one, unlike the other one, well, all of these are tucked behind the bulkhead as you go aft, but here they terminate before this bulkhead. So I'm gonna see just how hard it's gonna be to remove screws carefully and take this off in one piece. I'm glad I got one more day after today. And it's not even 10 a.m. yet. I got till about 6, then I gotta get ready to go to work. Yeah, I forgot. These are all nailed on with ring nails. If I try to pull that out, it'll destroy everything, including the frame. So I'm gonna have to just cut again. I have to keep on cutting. Well, I don't think I really have to do that because it's pretty dry over here. I can see it's coming across this frame. I think I gotta go up one more here because there's a seam right here, and above it, it feels pretty dry. I can't account for this flow. Definitely there's more caulk or something on the inside. I could just, I could just wait and see if this gets better, but if it doesn't get better by Monday morning and they need the travel lift, I'm kind of screwed. Like, in case I can't fix it and she's got to come out and have it addressed from the outside. So I'm trying to use the time I got to make inroads. Yeah, it's been a couple minutes. If I put my hand back here, I can feel that trickling. I think it's got something to do with this butt joint. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to cut. I'll start with this one. Curiouser and curiouser. It's coming from outside the frames, but there's no gap. There's no gap between the block and the plank. So I don't know. It's an awful lot of water. And it's the only area where the flow has not decreased overnight. That's what this investigation is all about. So I don't know. I'm gonna clean up this as best I can and think about it some more. Might have to do a quick haul and do something out there. I mean, they're outside, the planks meet about here. If the caulking has failed in there, it would be different, I think. It's coming from, this seam may be involved. I'm gonna clean it and dam this again. I think we got 2 areas here that are a problem. Oh, I see a lot of water over there as well. Oh geez, I'm gonna wind up cutting all these slats away, aren't I? Could it possibly be no, it can't make its way across. Huh. Yeah, I was gonna start cleaning, but then I took a peek between the slats in the next bay, and I see, look at this, caulk applied from the inside. It looks like. I think this part of this seam is part of our problem. I should have taken these slats out long ago. Would have been a much better way to go. Should have done it. Didn't want to. Thought I could get away with it. Pretty dry. Again, it's all about this seam here. I mean, it's tight. There's no single place the water's coming out. It's just wet. And you see it coming like a waterfall as you get into the bilge. All right, I gotta stop cutting for a minute. clean up and think. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I think this is definitely associated with this butt joint, but again, there's no gap there between the block and the plank, so I don't know if we got a split end of a plank or what's going on. Unfortunately, I can't see it. I gotta look at my pictures and stuff. I don't think I can do anything about this from inside except wait, but it doesn't look like it's gonna want to take up. It really doesn't. It's a shame. It's the only place on the boat that I know of. The weepy seams up there and stuff, that'll probably get better, but this, I don't know. So it's Sunday now. It's 11:30. We're almost 2 whole days in on the re-wetification. And the thing I mentioned yesterday that gave me a bit of a start, I can't show you right now because I got a bunch of stuff in the way, but as of sometime yesterday, after a couple of tide cycles, particularly the low tide, which didn't exactly leave that seam high and dry, but the boat settled in the straps, the water went down just visually just a hair lower than it was at high tide with the boat floating free, and it started to take up that butt seam. There's still a little weeping going on there, but it's not a flood. You don't, if you look in the bilge here, there's really no way to get an adequate shot of it, but prior to that I could see a stream, you could see a current flowing into the bilge. Now it's just kind of like the rest. Still have a fair amount here. I don't know how much of this is residual. The dewatering pump that I had forward, I removed it because it was cycling dry just from the water that was still in the hose. Unfortunately, I can't really get these guys. They're too tall for me to get them in there, so they're straddling the deadwood and really sucking the lowest part out. But this is pretty damn good. If you look here in this small bay where the 12-volt pumps are, actually, it looks like the starboard one is about to fire. The port one has a ways to go because it's mounted higher up in the bilge. I'm thinking today, I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but I've kind of made a decision to move the float switches into that bay where that coil of cable for the transducer is currently just hanging out. I might dress that up higher or dress it to one of the floor beams and move those switches in there down in the bilge on either side of the deadwood. I'll leave the pumps where they are, but there just really isn't room to have those switches down low next to the pumps. In fact, the port one, the base plate for that came loose. I think my screws came out. I haven't looked yet. So now the hose wants to touch the pivot point on that float switch, which is not good. It's not really impeding it from coming up. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of water in the bilge, enough to slop over the deadwood, but that port float switch is still high and dry. I think my idea to have one a backup for the other isn't as wise because of the nature of this bilge as having 2 float switches as low as possible, etc., on either side of the deadwood. The bottom line is that there's no strict schedule for pulling her out, but they might need the travel lift for other things tomorrow, Monday, when they're open for business again. There's already, there's already a little power boat that was pulled in behind me that was brought in under tow that's going to be hauled out for service. I don't think there's any big pressure, but if I do have to get out of here first thing tomorrow, I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to go to a slip. I'm not sure which one yet, where I'll have access to shore power, so I can put the dewatering pumps back online if I have to. Meanwhile, I'll be able to plug shore power in and keep the battery topped off, so if I want, I can just run the house ones. I think I'm going to, well, it hasn't cycled. This thing hasn't cycled in over an hour. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one off for a little while. I might move the switches today. I don't know. I got a bunch of other stuff I want to do. I really got to clean this deck. I got to limber up a bucket so I can get some river water on deck and give her a good scrub. It's been months and months since I scrubbed the deck of this boat. And then I got to take a look and start formulating a plan to redo plugs and Sikaflex on that middle section of deck, because almost everything I did over a year ago is come loose, and new stuff is coming loose. The Sikaflex seal around the edges of the cap rail is holding up pretty well, but that's not enough, especially considering that I already have water damage plywood. But yeah, I'm trying hard. I only got a few hours of sleep last night. I'm trying to kind of take her easy today, not have too hard an agenda. I think Doug and Lyle might be coming down later. If they're gonna go sailing, I'm probably gonna go sailing with them. Look at this weather. First week of October, it's gorgeous. It's like about 70, it's dry, a little breeze. The river looks good today. Looks tempting. Yeah, I'm not gonna go nuts. I gotta rearrange things in the interior and stuff like that. But I haven't even come up with a punch list yet. I might not. I got no work lined up for a while. Maybe almost nothing the rest of the month, which is good and bad, right? And the weather's supposed to turn Wednesday, expecting about a quarter-inch of rain in this area. So I guess, I don't know, if anything, the next 2 days I should focus on making sure I can get topsides as watertight as possible. It'll be interesting to see how she fares afloat with the bilge pumps. I think I'll definitely move those float switches down and forward. I might even at some point install another bilge pump forward, because there is a way for water to pass from one end of the boat to the other on either side, but it takes a while. It takes a long while. If I had a serious leak forward, like heaven forbid collision damage or something like that, I don't think it would. She would go down at the head way too much. If I had to be underway, it could make things very, very difficult. So it would be wise to either move one of them up there or have a third one or something. I don't know. I mean, although I will have a shower sump forward eventually, and that could, in an emergency, do the same job. It's a pump with a float switch that discharges water overboard above the water line. So I don't know. I'm thinking too much already. I'm trying to take it easy today. Clean up, organize a little bit, maybe do some editing. But I kind of have to reestablish my little nest there in the lower settee before I can get into that. Kind of wish I had the table here now, but it's really not time to put it back yet. Anyway, let me get to that stuff. Whatever I'm gonna do, I suppose I ought to shut up and get to it. It's Monday evening, and we're sitting pretty in the slip right next to the haul-out slip. The boat was moved rather suddenly this morning. As soon as the shop opened this morning, with the help of about 4 of the workers here, we warped Nina over to her new spot. I didn't even have time to get the camera ready. It was all over by 9 a.m. Not much to see. We didn't go very far. It's a pretty good spot. I'd rather be a little farther away from the haul-out slip and the shop itself, be a little quieter. But it will do. There's a lot more water under the keel right now. We're getting rid of it some of it right now. The taking up, it's kind of hard to tell where we're at. I mean, it's fine. It's definitely fine, but I'm not seeing the slope of improvement that I saw the last 2 days. You know what I mean? It's kind of settled down. I still have one of their pumps in the bilge. I don't know. I did try taking it offline for a few hours today, but the 12-volt pumps never kicked on. They're working just fine, and there's just as much water where they are as here. I think I'm just a little worried that the forward area might start filling up a little too much, but it hasn't. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to take this off and just wait till mine go off, or I might move ahead with my plan to move the float switches into the next bay forward, Just extend the cables and set them there so they trip a little sooner. That may or may not be a good idea, but it's worth doing. I didn't do much boat work. I removed some scrap wood and stuff from the boat. I reestablished my berth there. I've been sleeping on the starboard berth without a cushion for a couple nights because that was full of tools and all kinds of stuff. And man, it just beat the hell out of me. Very uncomfortable. I'm too old to be sleeping like that. What else? Yeah, I swabbed the deck yesterday a little bit. It's dirty again now. I spent a lot of the day playing around with my mooring lines here, trying to figure out what's best to keep her from bashing into the pilings or the dock. I think I got a pretty good grip on that now, but the wind hasn't changed much today. It did clock around from the south to more of a southeast heading today, and started driving the boat away from the finger that I need to get on and off the boat from. I do have a spring line set up, so I can, with some difficulty, pull the boat a little bit closer when the wind is blowing from the east. We're on a heading of 045 right now. And, that's it. We're here. This is it. This is going to be HQ for a while. This is going to be home plate. I'm glad we're able to pull me in stern first. I just think it's better when there's swell coming off the river. And over the winter, it'll be nice to have a more southern exposure on the aft deck and the companionway hatch, for sure. And when it's blowing out of the north, the front of the boat, especially with the hatch covered with a tarp, or perhaps even rebuilt this winter, maybe it can handle that rough weather. Oh, excuse you. That's good. It's taking a lot that time. It tends to take some, but it really just sort of fills the hose, and there's no check valve on this, so a lot of it comes back. It's coming back right now, but when it cycles for a longer period like that, it gets quite a bit overboard. I don't see any active leaking. It's just kind of wet in places. I can't see behind all this furniture, but I can look in the, towards the center of those bays, and I don't see like ripples in the water suggesting there's trickle like we had going on over there by that butt joint, which is amazing. This just seems to have taken up. It's still damp. It's not dry, that's for sure, but it's much better. It's not trickling. You don't see water moving really, and if I touch my finger to it, I don't feel it flowing over my finger. My seams are looking great. Really, really good. I can see most of them. I can have access, and they look fantastic. It's a wonderful thing. It's going to rain Wednesday. I will be here. We'll see how we're doing with topside leaks, with the aft deck and all that. I started editing today. I finally got a hold of the drone footage of first for Slowly Sailing, and I'm working on trying to get episode 80 together. I can't talk today. I can't do the abstract I'm talking to my YouTube audience thing today. I think I'm tired. I might be tired. Drained. But the weather's been beautiful. I don't mind it. It's going to rain Wednesday. I'm probably going to go home Thursday for a few days and then come back. It's supposed to be pretty crappy this weekend, but that's all right. I got a lot of inside the boat stuff to do still, and I want to monitor her during a heavy rain. I can't remember what the forecast winds are going to be, but I definitely don't want to just walk away from her for too long until I make sure all my mooring situation here is sorted out properly in different conditions, Anyway, I gotta go get some dinner.